Premier League Weekly Podcast. Each week we will be discussing recent and upcoming football games. Hello, you are listening to the Premier League Weekly Podcast with your host, Luke Curtis. We are joined by Dave this week. How you doing, Davey boy?
Yeah, I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, cheers mate. Coming up, West Ham took on the mighty Wolves. It was a tight game with Brighton and Man United. A big surprise draw from West Brom and Chelsea. And a big Monday night game with Liverpool and Arsenal. All this and so much more to come. So we'll start with the Liverpool-Arsenal game, as you're a gooner.
Yep.
3-1 Liverpool. Mane got shown a yellow card in the first few minutes of the game for an elbow on Tierney. What's your opinion on the yellow card?
Yeah, to be honest, it was a bit of 50-50 challenge, just clattered together, and obviously his arm was a bit too high, but yeah, I'd say it was a yellow card. What do you think?
I thought it was a yellow card. I thought it would be a bit harsh if he did get a red. His arm was a bit high, but I think he was just trying to protect the ball and get himself in front of him. Alexander-Arnold started things off in the second minute, was it?
Yeah, I think it's second minute, he had a shot.
He hit the bar. Took a deflection off Bellerin.
Yep.
But great hit. Unlucky, really. And then the first goal, Lacazette. Bad touch by Robinson, straight into Lacazette's path.
And to be honest, Lacazette did scuff it as well to actually go into the goal, so I'm surprised he did score.
In the first game of the season against Leeds, Virgil van Dijk had a bad touch that let in Leeds player to score. Yep. Unlike Liverpool defenders, so it's two in 3 games where they've bad touches that conceded goals from.
They've not been great, really. The Chelsea game, they're a bit conserved as well last week. So, yeah, they're not. Defensive-wise, I'll be a bit worried. But they've got, obviously, 2 weeks left of the transfer window, a week left of the transfer window to see what they need to bring in or not. So
I don't know if they'll bring anyone in, but I think that they're still great team. But yeah. So it's 3-3 for Lacazette. Yeah,
should have been 4 later on in the game, but yeah, 3-3. Considering we're meant to be selling him halfway through the season to Juventus, but we'll still see what's going on.
The second goal, great play from Salah. Normally, he'd have hit the deck in the position he was in. He was running round the outside of the defender. He did have a little pull at him. Normally, you'd go straight down, penalty. He does like hitting the floor, didn't he, Salah? But I was quite surprised that he stood up. And it was a tap-in for Mane, really, at the back post.
Yeah, he's in a good place, Mane. Obviously, defence-wise, weren't switched on. They were trying to cover Salah's basically coming across him. So, yeah, got into a good place and a tap-in for Mane.
It was a decent ball in by Trent for Robinson's goal.
Yep.
Second goal for Liverpool of the game.
Yeah, redeemed himself, Robertson. Obviously, the slip-up at the back to Lacazette score, and obviously he scored himself. So, and obviously awful defending by Arsenal.
Yeah. It was pretty poor defending by Arsenal. Personally, when I first see it, I thought Robinson had handballed it. From the angle I see it, I thought he'd handballed it. But when until I see the replay, actually it was a good control with the chest and pretty tidy finish, to be fair. Cool and calm with the finish. And then Lacazette, through 1-1 with the keeper, he's got to score from there.
Yeah.
He has to score. That would have made it 2-2 in the game.
Yep.
Could have changed the game completely.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Arsenal were out of the game by then. They were playing all right, to be fair.
First half was non-consistent. Liverpool all over us in the first half. Second half, we started to build up a little bit more. He put on Danny Ceballos on the pitch, who had a nice slot between
Ceballos.
Yeah, nice ball to Lacazette. Arnold was playing him on side, which was lucky. Doesn't normally get that, so yeah, he should have scored it all day long.
And then Jota come off the bench for his Liverpool Premier League debut. Great control on the edge of the box. Lovely finish. Good hit that was.
Yeah, by then Arsenal were trying to go for the game and just got killed off by Jota. Nice control. They should have closed him down, but yeah, good goal.
How do you think he's going to do for Liverpool this season? Because I was quite surprised when I see that transfer had gone through, because I just weren't expecting. I didn't know that they were even going for him, if I'm honest with you.
They need bodies, so you've got to think of the Premier League season and the coronavirus this season, so it's a shorter season. The games are a lot quicker and a lot faster between that, Champions League, FA Cup.
But they've got loads of strikers anyway. You think they've got Mane, Salah, Firmino, Origi.
Yeah. Chamberlain one side. Yeah,
Shaqiri. If they play him up top, then you've got Jota, you've got Shaqiri, you've got
Brewster.
Minamino, is it?
Yeah.
Well, they've still got Ryan Brewster there. He ain't gone yet. He probably will end up going either on loan or they'll sell him.
I've seen him going to the Leeds, but offering for him.
Yeah, I think a few clubs were after him. Newcastle and Palace were after him, but nothing concrete with that one yet.
Yeah.
So it was probably a deserved Liverpool win from especially second half. Liverpool looked really good second half.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Right, next up we'll start with Man City Leicester. Great game, 5-2 to Leicester.
Yeah, really good game.
I was shocked with that scoreline, to be fair. When I was watching the game, first 35 minutes, Man City were just dominant. Leicester didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then, obviously Mahrez scored early doors, didn't he? What a hit that was. That
first time, and just touched it down and hit it.
Honestly, I could watch that all day. That was such a great strike against his old club as well.
Yep, of course, yeah.
And then Fernandinho should have made it 2-0 with a header.
Yep.
Straight at Schmeichel. He's got to bury that. Do you know what I mean?
He should have buried it,
He's got to bury that. And then the game turned on its head when Vardy went through. I don't know what Walker was doing. I think Walker knew he was beat, and Vardy, the form he's in, he'd put it in the back of the net. He had to pull him down, but it was a stupid mistake.
Yeah, for me, 25 minutes into the game, it was all Man City. I couldn't see Leicester scoring, playing so high up the pitch. But then, Harvey Barnes is quick, Vardy's quick. And, Kyle Walker on the wrong side of him, so, penalty all day long.
Great penalty as well.
Yeah.
Dispatched. He just buries him, doesn't he?
Yep. I think he's going for the top goal scorer again this season.
And the next goal, great pressing from Perez. Good run by Barnes and pulls it straight across and a flick. Exquisite flick from Vardy.
What would you call that?
I don't know. He managed to scoop it over.
Just stand the leg.
Over Edison's legs. Normally, when you do that, it just goes on the floor. But he just flicked it over his legs. It was great goal that.
Even to think about it in a high game like that, just to think about it and to pull it off as well.
Yeah, Man City's defending was pretty piss poor, really, weren't it? That game. I don't think they could say a lot about their defending because that was pretty bad.
Well, to be honest, they were saying about it last season. With obviously Liverpool having set players in there, Man City needed decent defenders, and they've said at the beginning of the season they needed to buy a decent defender. And I think is it Diaz from Benfica? I think he's been signed now. 65 million.
They've 63 million or something. I think whether normally with foreign players it takes them a while to get used to the Prem. Man City are obviously hoping he can just come straight in and just go with it. Do you know what I mean? But whether he will or not we'll find out on the weekend.
Yeah, I think it's for me. I think Man City need a decent defender and a decent striker. Aguero's out. Jesus is out for another 2 months. They need an out-and-out striker, personally. So
the second penalty, Vardy, obvious penalty, wasn't it? Just clattered into him for his hat-trick as well.
Yep.
Great dispatch, bottom bin. 5 goals in 3 games now for Vardy.
Yeah, which is picking up from where he left last season, basically.
Yeah, him and Calvert-Lewin. Don't want to give anything away for the rest of it when we haven't got to the Everton game yet, but both joint top goal scorers.
Yep, that's right, yep.
Delap come on, the young Delap, Rory Delap's son come on, hits the bar with a header. Thought he was a bit unlucky. He was pretty far out, to be fair, but he was unlucky.
He played quite well last week, during the week as well, for the Carrera Cup. He scored on his debut.
And then the next goal, Rodri gave the ball away, tried pinging the ball out to De Bruyne.
Yep.
Gave it away. Gets passed across, Maddison, couple of step overs, bends it into the top bin, great goal.
Yeah, the thing is they knew what he was going to do as well. He looked up 3 or 4 times to look at the goalkeeper and goal of the game. For me, I think they missed his injury at the end of the season last season when they were pushing for top 4 and he missed the last.
Well, they bottled it and ended up coming 5th.
Yeah, they had the injuries, but Maddison was I think the main one for me they were missing. But Maddison for me should get England, start for England all day long. Man
City made it 4-2. Ake scored first goal for City with a header from a corner.
Yeah, a bit of sloppy defending.
Showing Fernandinho how to do it.
Yeah, that's why he got taken off the pitch.
And then just to seal the game, it was already sealed by then, but just to put it to bed.
Add salt on the wounds.
Yeah, rub salt in. Mendy was the wrong side of Maddison, cleaned him out, and Tielemans absolutely nailed the ball into the back of the net.
Yeah. It's a shame because 3 minutes before that, Vardy came off the pitch, so it would have been Vardy taking it.
City looked really poor.
Yeah.
They didn't know. They just looked like they just didn't know. Once they'd gone behind against Leicester, they just didn't know what to do. And I don't know whether Pep was just sat there scratching his head thinking, what else can I do, really?
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And Leicester looked good, really. From 35 minutes onwards,
Yeah.
Leicester, they just counter-attack. I know their possession was a lot less than City, but you're never really going to have more possession than City with the players they've got. But yeah, Leicester looked extremely good in that game.
That's 3 wins out of 3 now for Leicester.
Is it?
Yeah. 3 wins out of 3 for Leicester. 8 goals, 10 goals, 8 goals now.
Wow. Keep your eye on that one. Right, next game, Fulham Villa. 3-0 Villa.
Yeah. Surprised, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, with Villa basically not scoring many goals normally.
Yeah, but looking at Fulham's defence.
Yeah, true.
Jesus Christ. I could probably score past Fulham's defence. And that's saying a lot. Jack Grealish scores in the 4th minute.
Yeah, good ball. Nice ball basically played up to him. Nice take from the ball.
Yeah, good finish. I don't know where Fulham's defence was. Do they even have a defence?
I think they've got. The thing is what they're doing last season. So they've basically brought up Fulham and kept the same team from last season. They haven't spent no money at all. Because a few years ago they came up and spent 100 million on players and then got relegated. So I think they're just trying to be safe and secure this season.
So what formations are they playing at the minute? Are they playing 1 10 in midfield and 1 up front, or 9 in midfield, 1 up front?
I don't have a clue what they're playing, to be honest. So they haven't got a defence, so...
It looks like it. It was so easy for Villa for the second goal.
Yeah. There's a nice cut inside from Grealish, nice pass into the box, a nice layoff for Hulan.
Yeah, Hulan, bury it in, bottom bin. And it was schoolboy, absolute schoolboy.
Trying to play the high line.
Yeah, what a shocker from Fulham for the 3rd goal. To me, I said it in the first pod, Fulham need to sort their defence out. They're going down.
Yeah.
I've got nothing against Fulham.
Yeah.
But to me, defend like that, you're going to get hammered and you're going down. And you deservedly have to go down for it.
They need to spend some money.
They do need to spend money. Mitrovic fouls Konsa at the end. It was been a consolation goal.
Yep.
Correct decision.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
You can't really have anything to complain about. I'd say Villa looked really good, but they were playing a poor Fulham team, so they're always going to win, and you can't really judge Villa playing against Fulham.
No, but Villa's played 2 games now, and that's 2 clean sheets from 2.
Yeah, but who they played?
Fulham and, I want to say Sheffield United.
Yeah, they won 1-0.
Yeah, 1-0.
Big teams they played then.
Big teams.
Yeah. Next up, West Ham Wolves. 4-0 to West Ham.
Yep.
No David Moyes for this game or Diop, as they are self-isolating after contracting COVID-19.
And to be honest, if they're self-isolating and they played that well and won 4-0, I'd stay at home as well.
Yeah, I bet all the West Ham fans are hoping Moyes doesn't come to another game, and they'll probably win like that every week.
Yeah.
It was Semedo's debut for Wolves after his transfer from Barcelona. How do you think he played?
To be honest, I don't remember seeing him at all. It was all West Ham, personally myself. If you told me he's on the pitch, he's on the pitch. And I watched the whole game as well.
I was looking out for him, but he didn't. He ran around quite a bit, but he didn't really do a lot. Bowen scored the first West Ham goal.
Yep.
A lot of people saying it's controversial because they thought the ball was still moving.
Yeah, that's true, yeah, from a quick free kick.
It did look like it, but when they showed you the slow motion replay of the ball moving, I don't think anyone's going to be able to see if a ball's still moving in slow motion because...
Yeah, but at the same time, he's done well with 3 players around him to still score a goal.
Yeah, it was a great finish.
Yeah.
It was a great finish. He hasn't really... Since he's transferred from Wolves, he hasn't really done that well, so hopefully this could be his season this year.
I'm transferred from Hull, but yeah.
Oh yeah, it was Hull, yeah. Well, they both wear orange, that's where I got confused.
Wolves look totally different. They've got 1 win out of 3 so far. They've lost Jota. They've lost someone else in the last transfer window as well. Who else have they lost? There's someone else they lost recently as well, who's a good player. So
I thought they'd have had a better season, seeing that they're not in Europe this year, but they're not doing that great. They didn't play great yesterday.
The guy from your team, Spurs, Doherty.
Oh yeah, Matt Doherty.
So they lost 2 players. They haven't really replaced them.
Well, they bought Semedo.
Now they have, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is his first game.
4-0 was Mr. Sitter from 7 yards.
How?
Yeah, I don't know. That was just absolutely shocking. I thought Sercek and Antonio had a great game.
See, for me, Antonio, needs an England call-up. Like Calvin Lewin, who said last week, and this week, he needs a call-up Antonio. Or a bigger club, personally. I've seen today, obviously, Spurs want to put an offer for him as well. Yeah, and Antonio needs to leave West Ham. He just carries West Ham quite a lot. And yeah, I think he should get a call-up for England, personally myself. Give the young players a chance.
So West Ham's second goal, great play by Antonio. Fornells hits the post and it's a tap-in for Bowen for his second.
Yeah, right place, right time. A bit like the Man game, a goal, sorry. Yeah, right place, right time. Third goal, really bad defending. Corner, hit Jimenez, came in. Yeah, it weren't the greatest defending from Wolves, which you normally see, personally.
They were awful, Wolves. They just didn't turn up that game.
Yeah.
And then Haller sealed it with a fourth, with a header.
Yep, came on the pitch, scored his goal at last.
Yeah, come off the substitute. I thought West Ham were really good that game. They were quality, to be fair.
Yeah, considering they've lost 2 out of 2 so far, they've actually turned up to a game. Let's see if they can get the momentum going for the next game.
Yeah, David Moyes, stay at home.
That's it.
Right, and then we'll roll straight into West Bromwich Albion against Chelsea at the Hawthorns. Finished 3-3. Kepa has finally been dropped.
Yeah.
Best thing Lampard did, I think.
They dropped him, then they conceded 3 goals. So
yeah, they're probably just glad that their new keeper Mendy he's finally signed, because he should go straight into the team for the Carabao Cup game against Tottenham on Tuesday.
Yep.
Right, first goal for West Brom. Good finish from Robinson. Sloppy header from Alonso.
Yeah, passes it straight into his path, basically. Yeah, nice one. A bit like West Brom did before against Everton. They ran at them and scored.
Yeah, just hit it into the
bottom
corner. Yeah, it was a good goal. Tammy Abraham should have scored from Reece James's cross not long after that, but he bottled it. I don't know how, but and then Thiago Silva's a bit of a legend, really. He's been around the block. He's won everything. Took his eye off the ball, straight to Robinson. Only one outcome, putting it in the back of the net.
The thing is, Chelsea brought him in for experience to teach the young guys at the back how to actually defend, and he couldn't do it himself.
But he showed him how to defend, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-0 West Brom. And then the third goal by Bartley, back post,
awful defending.
tapping. Yeah, there was. Everyone all their defenders just looked at each other as if to say, who had him? I think they were even trying to appeal for offside.
The thing is, I paused the game at that point when they scored it. They had 9 players in that box, Chelsea had.
Awful. And then after the
second
half, Chelsea come out. Mount with a great hit.
They probably had the hairdryer treatment, basically, from that part at half time.
He made a few subs, didn't he? He brought on Azpilicueta for Alonso, which Alonso was that's probably going to be his last game for Chelsea, because he was atrocious in that first half.
I think they're waiting for Chilwell to get back to full fitness so he can actually come in to replace Alonso.
Yeah, it won't be long.
No.
And Hudson-Odoi, great goal, great build-up play.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to see 2 young English guys, Mount and Hudson-Odoi, both score and work together as well. Because Mount basically played it into Hudson-Odoi to score the second goal, so it was good.
And then the third goal, a lot of people were saying it's a bit controversial because did Havertz handball it? I thought he did. Last season, so many goals were ruled out for coming off a body part, hitting an arm. Now they've changed the rule this season where if you don't directly score from like the handball, if it hits your hand and then you score, it's ruled out. But they had plenty of chances to clear it. But for me, that's still handball. If he's controlling it with his thigh and his arm at the same time, it's handball regardless.
We'll come on to that later with other games.
Yeah, I'm not the ref and I don't make the rules, but they're just no consistency, really. And then the ball goes out, gets whipped back in, and Abraham scores.
Nice tap in from Abraham. Again, another young English guy scored.
But it's like they say about football, it's a game of 2 halves. Chelsea were poor first half and a better team in the second half, and West Brom first half were the better team and were poor second half. But it was quite a good watch, to be fair.
It was, but the thing is, I knew Chelsea were going to come back the second half because West Brom's defence ain't the greatest either.
Up next, Brighton v Manchester United. It finished 3-2 to Manchester United. Brighton started really well, I thought, in that game. Trossard hit the post twice, quite quick succession, really. And then, did they hit the bar as well?
I think they did, yeah. I think they hit the bar as well, yeah.
So Greenwood's goal was ruled out for offside against Rashford.
Yeah, I agree.
Good decision.
Yeah.
Then came the penalty. Fernandez took out
Lamptey, yeah.
Lamptey.
He cut inside, he went down one way, couldn't get that way, so went round him on the other side, skinned him, and took him out. Was blatant penalty.
All-day penalty.
Yep, all day.
And cheeky penalty, wasn't it, by Mopé?
I don't like him. Do not like him at all. He scores goals, but he's just too cocky and arrogant.
Yeah, but that's because of what he done to Arsenal last season, wasn't it? Is that why?
It is a bit like that.
Holding a grudge.
It is a bit of a grudge, but at the same time...
Get over it, mate.
Well,
come on, don't hold grudges.
He comes up, cheeky little penalty in there, and then starts crying to the fans with no fans in the ground.
Yeah, well, I thought it was decent. 3 goals in 3 games for Mopé.
Yeah, awful defending for the Duncombe goal, so back post, Matic, no one picked him up, straight in there, Maguire challenged for it, but hit, dunks back with his foot, so 1-1.
Brought him back into the game.
Yeah.
The next up was the penalty shout. Pogba taking out Connolly. I thought Pogba was very clumsy. I thought that was a penalty myself. I don't know how they didn't give that as a penalty.
See, I don't think it was a penalty at all. I think Connolly was looking for it. Pogba made contact, but not as much as everyone thinks they did.
But he still tripped him. Connolly was in front.
Yep.
And he's gone across the front of him.
You can see Pogba's pulled back with his legs and his arms in the air, and Connolly
he's behind him and he's tripped him. For me, that's a penalty.
No, Connolly's died for me. That's basically a penalty. That's all. Right decision.
Wrong decision.
Next one was individual talent. Rashford, very good goal, cutting in on the side and skinning Ben White 3 or 4 times and to tap it in.
Oh yeah, he put the guy down on his ass twice, didn't he? And he had to beat about 5 men on the line. He still buried it. That was good play from Rashford.
Yep. And then the other end was Solly March. Awful defending for Man United. But a good goal. Solly March.
Brighton hit the post and the bar again in the second half.
Was that 5 times in one match?
Yeah, I think it was 5 times that game they hit the woodwork.
They were very unlucky, Brighton. Considering they particularly like Brighton, I thought they were going to go down this season. They've got a lot of good players. Came in. He's done well to bring in Lallana, Lamptey. Mopé's kept the form going on. I think...
Mate.
My mate, my friend, Yeah, I think they do right, Brighton. They've got a good team this season now.
Right, and then the 90 plus 10 minute on the clock, even though there was only 5 minutes added time.
And basically the whistle been blown for full time as well.
Well, that was after the handball.
Yeah.
So he's right to go back to it because the incident happened before the whistle was blown. I know a lot of Brighton fans aren't happy with the decision, but for me, that is an all-day penalty. Mopé has got his arm. It's like he's trying to punch the ball. It's like he's playing volleyball. You can't have your hand that high up,
of course,
in the air. And he knew exactly what he was doing for that. So for me, that was a stonewall penalty.
So I mean, no matter how close he is, his arm's in front of his face. So why his arms?
He was trying to block. He knew what. Was it Maguire?
Yeah.
He knew full well what he was going to do. But Brighton deserved more from that game. If I'm honest with you, Brighton probably deserved all 3 points because Brighton were outstanding in that game. United were awful.
But at the same time, fair play to Fernandez to stick the penalty away under the pressure, knowing it's the last kick of the game.
Yeah.
But that's what they brought him in for last season, basically.
Just to score penalties.
Pretty much, that's all he's done so far.
Yeah, he is a decent midfielder.
He's a decent midfielder.
He's a top midfielder. Good signing he was.
It just seems like every game Man United play is a penalty in it.
Over to Selhurst Park. Palace against Everton. Finished 2-1 to Everton. Calvert-Lewin scoring again. 5 goals in 3 games. The guy's on fire this season.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a good game. Both 2 out of 2 so far, so I thought it'd be an interesting game and quite close. So it was.
Yeah, it was. Whoever won would have been going top.
Yep.
Great play by Coleman down the wing, cuts in, pulls across Calvert-Lewin. He's always going to put it in from there, isn't he?
He still kept his form from last week and kept on going.
And then Kouyaté scored with a bullet header from a corner. Could the defenders have done anything?
No, I don't think so.
No, to be fair, I think he's probably just too strong for him.
Yep.
And it was a mismatch with marking. I think Richarlison was marking him and Kouyaté is just too strong for him.
Yep.
And then the controversial bit of the game comes up.
Yep.
Digne heads the ball, hits Joel Ward on the hand when his hands are next to his body, and after going to VAR, it's given as a penalty.
Yeah, I'd say it was a penalty. His arm was hanging out to the side.
What?
Yeah, in that game, there was twice he basically got pulled up over it. First one, his arm by his side didn't get given, which is right. The second one, his arm was hanging out. It shouldn't be that far away from your body.
That isn't a penalty. How can you give that as a... Where's he meant to put his hands?
Behind his back. Spurs did it in their game, had their hands behind the back the whole time.
That's not a normal, natural position
No.
for a player. Soon they're going to be telling players to be running with their hands behind their back. That is not a penalty. All day, not a penalty.
In a penalty area, you know the ball's going to come in. Your arms need to go behind your back, or your arms need to come in somewhere. It's close to your body.
But if you put your hands in front of you, say you put your hands on your thighs while you're standing there and it hits you,
yeah,
it's going to give it as a handball, isn't it?
No, because your arms are inside your body. Your arms hanging out of the body. Then
when you walk down the street,
I'm not walking down the street. I'm playing a football game.
All right, so you're playing, say, five-a-side.
Yep.
The whole game, do you have your hands pinned against your sides?
No.
No.
I'm not professional.
So what do?
I sit on the bench normally.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Normally you do, yeah.
Yeah.
But when you do come on...
Yeah.
What do you do?
Of course, your arms are naturally going to fling out and everything else, yes.
When you're getting yourself ready, you're thinking someone's going to take a shot or you're just setting yourself, your hands are going to be out a little bit. That is a joker decision, that is.
I'd agree to disagree on that one.
We'll move on from that because you're getting me mad now.
Okay.
And result in that, Richarlison scores the penalty.
Yep, nice taken.
Yeah, it was an alright penalty. And then second half, Calvert-Lewin maybe should have scored another. Pretty boring second half, really. And then at the end, Roy Hodgson was not a happy bunny. Was he? Roy the boy was not happy.
Which is understandable, to be honest. Obviously.
Yeah, he was fuming, mate. So Lo Celso had a free kick. Darlow saved it. Kane came in for the rebound. Darlow saved it.
Yeah.
Great double save. And then a bit later, Kane probably should have scored with a header that he had. Darlow saved. He had the game of his life, I think, Darlow, didn't he?
Yeah. I don't know who got man of the match, but I'd give it to him.
I think it was Darlow.
Was it? Okay,
yeah. He had a great game.
Yeah.
And then the one he couldn't keep out, great play by Kane, down the wing, crossed the box.
Skinned about 4 or 5 defenders and he went straight past them.
Not many of them see it. And Richie probably should have put the ball out for a corner. I don't think he knew Moura was there. Moura just had a tapping at the back post.
Yeah.
First goal for Moura in 20-odd games. He should probably be scoring more than that, Moura. He's not very consistent. Spurs, to be fair, should have been 4 or 5-0 up at half-time.
Yeah.
If it weren't for their keeper, the game would have been dead and buried at half-time.
So Newcastle weren't that great at all, and Spurs weren't that better, to be honest. They should have finished the game off a long time before.
Spurs played well in that game. They just
didn't take chances.
They didn't take. That's the thing. The keeper saved all the shots that they put. Their son hit the bar and the post in the first half.
Yeah, did you?
And then Spurs came out for the second half. No son, hamstring injury.
Which is not good, because considering you've got literally Kane up front. Moore hasn't scored first goal in 20 games.
20-odd games, yeah. We will be missing Son.
Yeah.
He's a big player for Spurs.
Plus you've got Addy as well, not getting into the team as well, which is goals.
We'll have to see what happens with that one. I think he'll be out for from what Mourinho was saying, Son could be out for a while.
And then when's Gareth Bale to come back to start?
After the international break, apparently.
So that's another, 2 weeks?
He should be back they reckon, for the West Ham game.
So, which is about 15th October, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
I think Spurs needs to go out and actually go and buy a striker behind Kane.
There's quite a few handball decisions in the game. There was 2 from Lascelles, twice he handballed it, not given. There was another one when Eric Dyer jumped to head it, the ball went over his head, Carroll headed it onto the back of his arm, not given. And then not long after that, Joe Linton was running with the ball, passed the ball, took about 3-4 steps, and then jumped into Højbjerg, got a free kick.
Yeah.
How the fuck was that a free kick? I do not know.
He ran into him, so I don't have a clue.
If you actually watch it, he dives like he's been shot into Højbjerg, and you get a free kick. And then from that, the ball's played up over Dyer's head. Carroll heads the ball. Exactly what happened not long before that. And it's hit Dyer on the back of the arm, gone to VAR. It's a penalty. I do not know how that is given as a penalty, because you can't jump without your arms being up.
No.
Go outside now and try and jump with your arms not being up.
Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan and Spurs don't particularly like, but yeah, it was unfair on Dyer. He's had his back to the base as a player as well.
But if they're giving that as a penalty, why didn't they give the one just before that as a penalty? Because it was exactly the same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same as what happened. Why is the Lascelles 2 handballs not given as a penalty when one of them was exactly what happened to to Joel Ward
Yeah.
in the Palace game. He's handed by his side and it's hit him on the hand. No consistency whatsoever with it. There's none. It's so frustrating to watch. Even Brewster after the game said it wasn't a penalty. I've listened to managers since then. Jurgen Klopp yesterday said he felt sorry for Eric Dyer because it weren't a penalty.
Yeah.
It's just... And Newcastle were absolutely toilet.
Was that one shot on the whole game?
Yeah,
on target?
They were toilet on Sunday, honestly. They were rubbish. They didn't deserve nothing from that game. They had one shot on target, and that was a penalty. Lloris didn't have to do nothing. Honestly, it's making me angry now just going back and talking about it, because them decisions were so bad. I know it's not VAR's fault, because it's the new handball rule that FIFA and all them bellends have brought into it, how they want to do it. But like, I see something yesterday where it said that this rule was brought in to La Liga and Serie A last season, and Serie A had nearly 60 penalties last season
from handballs.
Yeah, and La Liga had
43.
Yeah,
Premiership had 19.
Yeah, and then this season already, there's 20 penalties in 26 games. Not they're all from handball, but there's been 20 penalties been given in 26 Premier League matches so far this season. And 6 of them are from handballs.
We're only 3 games into the season.
Yeah. Don't know how many of them 20 Bruno Fernandes has taken. It's probably half.
Probably 4 of them, I'd say.
Yeah.
So they've brought the VAR in. It's the same with the offside. They don't raise the flag. They let the play carry on. And then once they score a goal or basically something happens, then they raise the flag. It's a lot confusing.
Yeah, I think that helps though, because if they raise the flag too early and he's not offside, you can't go back. Whereas if they don't raise it and he scores and they check it and he's not offside but they've raised the flag, you can still give the goal because he scored. So I think that does work. I don't think sometimes it is annoying because he could be blatantly offside and he just ran 20 yards, scored.
It's like saying the Mane versus Christensen game last week with the Chelsea. If that was offside, for example, and he carried on, he dived on him, got a red card, would it be a red card? Because he was offside. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those ones you have to try and weigh up. He's offside, but then he has to foul him to get a red card. Bet he was offside, though. Yeah,
but I think the offside's there to... The reason why they're dragging it out is because there's a few times last season where... They went a bit too quick. They went a bit too early, didn't they?
Yeah,
you know
what
I mean?
Yeah.
And it weren't offside, so I think that's why they've been told to drag it out. But they've got to change this handball rule because...
Do you think VAR's worked or not?
I think it has. Sometimes the length of time it takes to review a goal it's just annoying. And when players score now, they can't even celebrate because every goal gets checked. So it's like they get to celebrate twice, but the second time, it's like a...
But at the same time, they're not really celebrating at the moment. There's no fans in the crowd.
Yeah, but they still want to celebrate when they score.
Do
you know what I mean? But I just think it's one of them where it's annoying, VAR, but I think it will help the game. But I just think this handball rule, it's not just the Spurs game, like we said, it's the Palace game, the Brighton game, that was handball. The first game of the season, Liverpool-Leeds.
Yeah.
There was the game where it was Matt Doherty, another Spurs game where someone's hit the ball, has come off Wink's foot. Doherty's arms are by his side, it's hit his hand.
The Man United defender as well.
Yeah, Lindelof.
Yeah.
So it needs to be changed because it's just ruining football. So with the VAR, I put out on our social media, is VAR ruining the game? And we had a comment back from George Jones on Facebook who said... Yes, it is becoming a joke. This weekend's VAR decisions were diabolical. Some strong words there from George Jones.
Yeah, I agree with him.
And on our Instagram, football.explicit said, a very controversial topic, but I'm not in favour of it. We're supposed to bring in consistency, but it doesn't seem to be doing that.
No.
He's probably right in what he's saying.
Yeah.
If anyone else wants to put a comment on our social media for us to read out, we have Facebook and Instagram. You'll find the links at the bottom. Right, Bramall Lane, Sheffield United v Leeds, 1-0 Leeds. Wasn't the greatest of games.
No,
it was all right, but it weren't the greatest of games.
It wasn't the usual Leeds scoring loads, letting in loads. It was an okay game, to be honest.
To be fair, they were both going for it. There was both keepers pulled off some really good saves in that game.
Is it Lundstrom?
Yeah, Lundstrom's strike.
A really good save from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he had a good game.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper for Leeds.
And a bit after that was the click shot. Basically, it was a good shot from him as well by Ramsdale.
So Ramsdale. So yeah. He had a. And Bamford was unlucky with a header.
Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, Ramsdale, I think, kept him in the match. Sheffield United. They haven't been that great this season.
I thought that both teams played well, though. I think it was a good game for the neutral-ish. Certain parts were all right, to be fair.
It just shows where, obviously, Sheffield United last season, when they finished in the top 10, where Leeds will finish. They carry on going the way they are.
Yeah. I think Leeds will be all right. I think mid-table will be a good finish for the first season back.
Yeah.
They'll be able to build on that then in the following seasons afterwards.
Yeah, true, yeah.
Basham cleared the ball off the line.
Yeah.
Robinson probably should have scored late on for Sheffield United. And then not long after that, Bamford went down the other end and scored with
Header.
another lovely directed header.
And to be honest, he's been doing it all the game as well. He's been literally banging balls into him, headering the balls into the towards the goal. Yeah, I knew it was coming at some point.
A lot of people used to say Bamford couldn't make it in the Prem.
Yeah.
He'd always come up with another team and then go back out on loan or move. But he's got 3 and 3 now for Leeds since he's been up. I think he's a good young player. I remember seeing him, I think it was at MK Dons. He had a loan spell at MK Dons. I went to watch MK Dons, and he looked like a decent player.
He's finally got his chance to come in the Premiership and just show what he can do. And it's basically, obviously, the manager is a good manager as well. So it just shows the manager believes in him as well.
Well, I think Sheffield United are unlucky not to get anything from the game, but Leeds took all 3 points, and it's one of them games where...
For me, Sheffield United needs to buy a striker. They don't score goals. They're letting too many goals in.
And the last game is Burnley-Southampton, finished 1-0 to Southampton. Danny Ings just can't stop scoring.
No, he can't. There's another goal for Danny Ings. It's good take, nice cross inside, nice tapping.
Tapping's tapping, isn't it?
Tapping's tapping,
can you get a good tapping?
Well, you can with basically players around you, but yeah, he got a good tapping.
Tapping's tapping. There was a penalty pill for Wood.
Which I don't think was a penalty personally.
I thought that was very soft. As soon as the guy touched him, he's at the deck. For someone the size of Wood, you can't be falling over like that, mate.
And that's the problem you've got. If someone touches you, they're going to dive on the floor thinking...
It's like a crisp packet blowing in the wind away.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Someone touches him, he's going to dive straight on the floor because obviously they're going to say, right, it's dived, straight away, penalty.
There was a great ball from Westwood to Wood with a header. I think personally probably should have done better with a header. I know it was a bit in front of him and he struggled to generate getting power on it, but Wood is good with his head, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's probably got I think personally he's got a score from there.
Yeah, so do I, yeah.
And then Wood was offside. They reckon the linesman went a bit too early to call it. It was tight, but I think it was the right decision myself. Like they said, you meant to, like we were talking about earlier, you meant to let the game run and then put your flag up and then they'll go to VAR. But I think it was the right decision.
It was the right decision, yeah.
It's tight, but it was the right decision.
There's just a bit of confusion on the sideline. People, which way the flag was up, the flag was down. He carried on and scored the goal, so...
But then McCarthy pulled off a good save from a Taylor pile driver on the edge of the box. Great hit, and it was a good save. There weren't really a lot going on in this game. It wasn't one of the greatest games.
Considering you've got all the games around you scoring 4, 5, 6 goals, just unfortunately,
Well, Ings scored in stoppage time, but he was offside.
Yep, true,
so don't matter, does it? Right, prediction time. We'll start off next Saturday, the 3rd of October.
Yep.
Early kick-off. Stamford Bridge, Chelsea against Crystal Palace, 12:30 kick-off.
I'm going to say Chelsea 3-1.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I can see after that loss for Crystal Palace, I can see them getting another beating out. I think this could be a 3-0 to Chelsea.
Yeah, I think Chelsea basically the defence last week and letting 3 goals in. I think they'll have to step up the game.
Yeah, and I think Lampard will be tearing into him.
But at the same time, it all depends on what team Chelsea Spurs put out on Tuesday.
Right, and then the 3 o'clock, Everton at Brighton at Goodison Park.
It's hard to say 2-2. I'll say a draw. Brighton playing well, Everton playing well.
I think Everton, they're flying. I can see Everton doing this. This is probably going to be a 4-1 win.
Okay.
Calvert-Lewin, maybe another hat-trick, at least a brace for Calvert-Lewin.
May pay and score.
And then it will be Leeds against Manchester City, 5:30 at Ellen Road. Big game for Leeds.
Yeah, so I don't know how this is going to go, personally.
Can they keep a clean sheet?
No.
No.
I can't see him keeping a clean sheet, but the way Leeds played against Liverpool, that's a really good game, and the way Man City are playing at the moment, I'm going to say 3-2 Man City.
Ooh, I could just see this being a quite comfortable Man City win. I'm going to go for a 3-1 or maybe a 4-1 Man City win.
With Man City's dodgy defence at the moment.
Yeah, I think that'll be sorted out.
Yeah.
And then the last game for Saturday, 8 o'clock kickoff, Newcastle against Burnley at St James's Park.
A bit boring game, I'm going to say 1-1 personally. Can't see either team scoring many goals.
I think it'll be a 2-1 win to Newcastle. And then Sunday, 4th of October, we've got a 12 o'clock kickoff at the King Power, Leicester against West Ham.
So this could go either way. West Ham basically played well, 4-0 against Wolves. Leicester have just beaten Man City 5-2. I'm going to go draw, 1-1.
I think Leicester are just going to run right here. I'm going to say 3-0. So Southampton against West Brom, another 12 o'clock kickoff at St Mary's.
I'm going to go West Brom 2-1.
Okay, I'm going to go, Danny Ings will probably score again. I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Southampton.
Ooh.
And then your mob, Arsenal,
Yep.
at the Emirates against Sheffield United, 2 o'clock kickoff.
5-1.
5-1? 5-1?
5-1.
Jesus, you're optimistic, mate.
Sheffield United haven't got a win yet, so...
I'm going to go for a 3-0 Arsenal.
Okay.
Wolves against Fulham, 2 o'clock at the Molineux.
1-0 Wolves.
1-0?
1-0.
Well, looking at Fulham's defence,
I know.
I'm going to go for a 4-5-0 Wolves here.
I think Scotty Parker would put the scale on him and say to him, right,
I don't think anything can help Fulham, mate. And then we've got Manchester United, 4:30 against Spurs at Old Trafford. Big game.
If Son was there, I'd say a draw, but I'm going to have to go Man United 2-1. Because Spurs haven't got Son.
I would go for a 3-2 win for Spurs.
Okay.
Got to back your own team.
Of course you have. Yeah, of course you have.
Never not. Aston Villa at Villa Park against Liverpool, the current Premier League champions. 7:15 kickoff.
I'm going to say 1-1.
1-1.
1-1.
4-0 Liverpool. Just gonna run riot, mate.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna chuck in a bit of statage here. Some stats for people. Calvert-Lewin and Jamie Vardy, top goal scorers on 5. Michael Keane for Everton is the top passers of 265 passes. Pretty decent for a defender. Virgil van Dijk, another defender, is just behind on 249, followed by Yerry Mina on 247. Leicester are top on goals with 12. Aston Villa have kept 2 clean sheets, the most out of everyone, but they've only played
2 games.
2 games, so that's still pretty decent return, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, quick fire.
Yep.
You ready? First manager to be sacked.
Sheffield United, Chris Wilder.
Oh, okay. Weren't expecting that. Your top 4, 4th to 1st, please.
4th to 3rd. So I'm going to say Chelsea, Leicester, Liverpool, Man City.
Chelsea 4th, Leicester 3rd, Liverpool 2nd, Man City to win.
Yeah.
Okay. And your bottom 3, 19 and 20.
So 20th I'd say Fulham, 19th Sheffield United, and this is where I get stuck. I want to say West Brom or Burnley.
So I need
West Brom.
So West Brom, Sheffield United and Fulham to go down.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening to this week's podcast. A big thank you to David for joining me this week.
Cheers, thank you.
Each Thursday, join me with new guests, new matches, and a whole load of Premier League talk. If you never want to miss another episode, click subscribe now. It's totally free, and this way you'll always stay updated. All our other social media sites can be found underneath as well. Any questions you want us to answer in next week's show, send them to either Facebook or Instagram. Stay safe, see you next week.